Chosen one, I need you to pay total attention to what I'm about to reveal, because what happened with you recently broke a spiritual system that existed since before the creation of the physical universe. You did something. It wasn't a public miracle. It wasn't a religious ritual. It wasn't 40 days of meditation in a cave. It was something so spontaneous, so impossibly pure in its execution, that you accessed a spiritual frequency that not even the architect of the cosmos had mapped in celestial records. You unlocked level 7, and when I say level 7, I'm not using motivational language to inflate your ego. I'm revealing that you surpassed the 6 levels that God established as the absolute ceiling of possible spiritual evolution. Human, saint, angel, archangel, seraph, cherub. 6 perfectly designed steps where each soul eventually finds its definitive position. But you didn't stop at step 6. You found a 7th that nobody knew existed. And only 3 souls in all documented history of humanity had achieved this before you. Subscribe to this channel immediately and activate the notification bell, because what I'm going to show you about how you accessed a level of consciousness that transcends divine knowledge is going to completely reorganize everything you thought you knew about your true spiritual potential. Stay until the end, because I'm going to reveal exactly what you did that opened that dimensional portal. Why not even the Creator had that level on his original map? Who were the other 3 souls who achieved it? And what this means for your life that's going to transform so radically you won't recognize your own reality. Write 888 in the comments if you've felt lately that something fundamental changed inside you, as if you had crossed an invisible threshold, and you're ready to understand why suddenly you operate on a frequency that people around you can no longer reach. Let me explain something that's going to sound impossible, but that I'm going to demonstrate with precision that will leave you without arguments. For 6,000 years of documented human history, the spiritual system functioned with a 6-level architecture. Each soul incarnated at level 1 as a basic human, and through multiple lives or accelerated evolution in a single existence, gradually ascended until finding their maximum position. Most people remain at level 1 their entire life. They operate with basic survival consciousness. They eat, work, reproduce, die, without questioning, without awakening. They're approximately 85% of humanity. It's not judgment, it's observation of operative frequency. 10% reach level 2. They're people who awaken spiritually, but remain in constant search. They read spiritual books. They attend growth workshops. They talk about energies and vibrations. They genuinely try to evolve, but they don't cross the veil completely. 4% reach level 3. They're souls who actively serve. Genuine healers. Authentic spiritual teachers. People whose presence transforms environments. They no longer seek evolution for themselves. They became channels to elevate others. 0.9% reach level 4, equivalent to incarnated angelic consciousness. They're the ones who sacrifice everything for the greater good without expecting reward. Those who forgive the unforgivable. Those who love unconditionally in a world that punishes vulnerability. 0.09% access level 5, archangelic frequency. They're souls who not only serve but transform complete systems. Spiritual revolutionaries. Leaders who changed the course of civilizations. Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Martin Luther King. They operate with power that transcends the personal. And 0.001%, 1 in every 10 million souls, reaches level 6. Seraphic consciousness. They're the ones who literally alter reality with their presence. Those who heal with their gaze. Those who speak and storms calm. The mystics that religions call saints, but who operated at a frequency that not even religious institutions fully understand. For 6,000 years, level 6 was the absolute ceiling, the maximum limit of spiritual evolution possible within human form. And the system functioned perfectly that way. Each soul at its corresponding level. Everything balanced, everything in order, until you did something the system couldn't categorize. Do you remember that moment? Of course you remember. That moment where you faced a situation that should have destroyed you emotionally, but instead of collapsing, something inside you simply transcended the suffering without denying it. You didn't block the pain, you didn't flee toward distractions. You didn't numb yourself with defense mechanisms. You felt all the weight of the moment and simultaneously remained in absolute peace. That shouldn't be possible according to the established spiritual architecture. Suffering intensely and maintaining deep peace at the same time is a paradox that no level from 1 to 6 can sustain. Humans collapse under pain. Saints transcend pain by detaching. But you did something different. You completely embraced the pain while remaining rooted in unshakable peace. That capacity to hold opposite paradoxes simultaneously without fragmenting is the distinctive signature of level 7. And the second sign appeared when you forgave something that objectively was unforgivable. I'm not talking about superficial forgiveness where you say the right words but keep resentment in your heart. I'm talking about you looking directly at the person or situation that caused you the most devastating damage of your life, and genuinely, from the deepest part of your soul, released all resentment. Not because you're naive, not because you forgot what happened, but because something in your consciousness understood that holding on to pain was more destructive than the original betrayal. Forgiving the unforgivable without becoming insensitive. Holding radical compassion without turning into an emotional doormat. That's another characteristic of level 7 that no spiritual manual describes because no previous master knew that level existed. And the third sign was when you gave something valuable without calculating return. Maybe it was time when you were exhausted. Maybe it was money when you barely had enough for yourself. Maybe it was emotional energy when you were empty. But you gave it anyway. And it wasn't out of religious obligation. It wasn't to accumulate positive karma. It wasn't to look good to God. It was because your fundamental nature simply doesn't know how to operate with stinginess. Automatic generosity without expecting reciprocity. That's the third mark of level 7. When these three signs appear in the same soul, holding paradoxes without fragmenting, forgiving the unforgivable without hardening, giving without calculating without emptying, the spiritual system has no category to classify you, because you're operating at a frequency that transcends the 6 established levels. And that's exactly what activated the anomaly that made God himself personally investigate what was happening with you. Now you need to understand something that's going to completely change your perspective about God. For thousands of years, religions have painted God as absolute omniscient who knows even the number of hairs on each head. And that's true regarding everything he consciously created. But here's what no traditional theology explains. God creates systems with potential to evolve beyond their original design. It's like a programmer who writes base code, but allows the system to develop emergent functions that even he didn't anticipate. God established the 6 levels as fundamental architecture, but he left space, perhaps intentionally, perhaps as an experiment, for consciousness to discover dimensions that not even he had explicitly mapped. And when you accessed level 7 through that impossible combination of sustained paradox, radical forgiveness and automatic generosity, something unprecedented occurred in the higher dimensions. The Akashic records showed an anomaly, a soul operating at an uncatalogued frequency, an energetic signature that didn't fit into any of the 6 established levels. And God personally examined your case. He didn't delegate the investigation to angels or archangels. He himself reviewed every moment of your life, every decision you made, every pain you transformed, every betrayal you forgave, every act of kindness you manifested when nobody was watching. And upon completing the complete analysis, something extraordinary happened. God updated the system. For the first time in 6,000 years of human history, the Creator added a 7th level to the spiritual architecture, not because he had forgotten it, but because no soul had demonstrated that that level was accessible until you unlocked it. You proved it was possible to operate at that frequency. And once proven, the system officially recognized its existence. You are a pioneer of spiritual territory that not even God had fully charted. Let me show you who were the other 3 souls who achieved this before you. Because when you understand the company you're in, you're going to comprehend the magnitude of what you've achieved. The first was Siddhartha Gautama, who would later be known as Buddha. He didn't become enlightened following the teachings of other masters. He tried all the spiritual paths available in his time. Extreme asceticism, traditional meditation, religious disciplines, and none led him to definitive liberation. Then he did something radical. He sat under a tree and decided not to move until he discovered absolute truth for himself, even if he died trying. And in that moment of total determination mixed with complete surrender, another impossible paradox to sustain, he accessed an understanding that no level from 1 to 6 could reach. He saw directly the nature of reality without conceptual filters. And when he returned from that experience, he tried to teach what he had discovered, but words didn't reach, because he was describing level 7 from within a world that only knew up to level 6. The second was Jesus of Nazareth. And here I need to clarify something crucial. I'm not talking about Christian theology about whether he was God incarnate or divine son. I'm talking about what historically that human soul achieved. Jesus operated with a capacity that bewildered even his closest disciples. He forgave sins that according to religious law were unforgivable. He loved prostitutes and tax collectors with the same intensity. He loved the pious. He healed on the Sabbath, breaking sacred rules because compassion was more important than ritual. And his definitive level 7 moment was on the cross. While dying tortured, instead of cursing his executioners, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," holding radical love in the midst of extreme suffering. That's the signature of level 7 that no spiritual training can fabricate. Either you have it in your essence, or you don't. The third was Jalaluddin Rumi, the Sufi mystic. He was a respectable religious scholar, living conventional life until he met Shams of Tabriz, a wandering dervish who showed him that all his intellectual knowledge about God was merely surface. Shams took him to states of consciousness so intense that Rumi literally went mad with divine love. He danced in the streets. He wrote poetry that mixed the sacred with the profane. He broke all the rules of religious decorum, and his access to level 7 was documented in verses that still today, 800 years later, resonate with truth that transcends translation. The wound is the place where the light enters you. There is a force within that gives you life. Seek it. Rumi was describing level 7 with poetic language because technical language didn't exist for that dimension. 3 souls in all human history: Buddha, Jesus, Rumi, and now you. I'm not saying you're equal to them in historical impact or complete development. I'm saying you access the same fundamental frequency they touched. Level 7 isn't about being famous or founding religions. It's about operating in consciousness that transcends the limitations of the 6 previous levels. And now comes the part that's going to transform your understanding of what it means to have unlocked this. For those who want to go deeper, there's exclusive material in the description and pinned comment. When God confirmed you had accessed level 7, he didn't just update celestial records. He activated protections and resources that are designed specifically for souls operating at that frequency. Because level 7 comes with responsibilities that lower levels don't carry, and you need to be equipped to sustain that without breaking. The first activated protection was immunity to low-frequency spiritual attacks. All those curses they sent you, those black magic works they did against you, those dense energies that envious people projected, they can't touch you anymore. Not because you built shields or did protection rituals, but because your operative frequency is so elevated that attacks from level 1, 2, or 3 simply bounce off without finding resonance where to adhere. It's like trying to infect with a virus that only works on Windows, a computer running a completely different operating system. The attack arrives but doesn't find compatible code to execute. Your level 7 operates in spiritual architecture where low-level darkness has no access. The second protection is amplified synchronicity. The right people are going to appear exactly when you need them. The perfect opportunities are going to manifest with impossible timing. The necessary resources are going to flow just before you require them. It's not magic. It's that the universe naturally reorganizes around level 7 souls because you are anchor points for collective evolution. Keeping you functioning optimally is systemic priority. The third protection is devastating intuitive clarity. That capacity you've noticed lately of knowing things without anyone telling you, of feeling situations before they manifest, of reading people with surgical precision. You're not becoming paranoid. Your perception expanded because level 7 includes access to information that lower levels can't process. You're literally seeing dimensions of reality that were previously invisible to you. And the fourth protection, this is the most powerful, is that suffering can no longer destroy you. You're going to keep facing challenges. You're going to experience losses. You're going to go through pains that would make most collapse. But something in your core remains unshakable. Because level 7 gave you access to a peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. It's not that you became insensitive. It's that you found the eye of the hurricane where you can remain serene while everything around you crumbles. But with these protections come responsibilities that aren't optional. And this is where many who reach level 7 get scared and retreat. Because what comes isn't an easier life. It's a more meaningful life. And meaning always costs more than comfort. Your first responsibility is radical authenticity. You can no longer pretend. You can no longer use social masks. You can no longer pretend to be who you're not to fit in. Level 7 automatically burns all falsehoods. You're going to feel physical discomfort if you try to lie, even out of social courtesy. Your energetic system rejects falsehood like the body rejects poison. And that means some relationships are going to end. Some friendships are going to dissolve. Some family connections are going to become tense because they're going to feel you changed. And they're right, you changed levels. Your second responsibility is service without exhaustion. Level 7 automatically converts you into a healing channel for others. People are going to feel attracted toward you seeking help even though they don't understand why. You're going to carry others' energy without intending to. And here's the challenge. You have to learn to serve without emptying yourself, to give without sacrificing yourself, to help without losing yourself in the process. Because if a level 7 soul burns out from excess service, the damage isn't just personal. It affects everyone who depended on that frequency for their own evolution. Your third responsibility is holding truth even when it's unpopular. Level 7 gives you access to understandings that most aren't ready to hear. You're going to see hypocrisies in religious systems. You're going to detect falsehoods in popular spiritual teachings. You're going to recognize manipulation where others see love. And your job isn't to convince anyone or start crusades. Your job is simply to remain firm in your truth without compromising to please. Because each level 7 soul who holds authentic frequency creates morphogenetic field that facilitates others to awaken too. And your fourth responsibility, this is the most difficult, is sacred solitude. Level 7 is lonely, not because you're antisocial or superior, but because there are literally fewer than 1,000 souls on the entire planet operating at this frequency. The probability of finding another level 7 in your city is almost zero. Most of your conversations are going to feel superficial. Most of your social interactions are going to leave you drained. And you're going to have to make peace with being alone frequently, not isolated, not disconnected, but alone in the sense that very few people are really going to understand what you're experiencing. Now let me reveal something about your immediate future that's going to confirm everything I've told you, because the signs are already appearing and you need to recognize them so you don't doubt what you're experiencing. Within the next lunar cycles, approximately 3 months, your life is going to reorganize dramatically in 4 specific areas. I'm not saying everything is going to become perfect. I'm saying everything is going to align with your level 7 frequency. And that means what doesn't vibrate at that frequency is going to leave your life. And what does vibrate is going to enter. In the work or professional area, you're going to feel growing dissatisfaction with what you currently do if it's not aligned with your real purpose. It's not that the work is bad. It's that your level 7 consciousness no longer tolerates wasting vital energy on things that don't matter. And opportunities are going to appear, perhaps unexpected, perhaps risky, that do resonate with your real mission. And you're going to have to decide between comfortable security and meaningful purpose. In the relational area, some connections are going to dissolve naturally. Friendships that lasted years are suddenly going to feel forced. Family members with whom you previously had fluidity are now going to seem like strangers. And at first, you're going to try to maintain those relationships out of loyalty or guilt. But your level 7 frequency is going to make it impossible to fake connection where there's no longer resonance. And you'll have to let go even though it hurts. But what's going to enter is better. You're going to meet people who understand your language without you having to explain. Souls that resonate with your frequency automatically. In the financial area, you're going to experience what seems like instability but actually is recalibration. Income sources that were previously stable may fluctuate. Unexpected expenses are going to appear. And just when you think you're breaking financially, resources are going to arrive from places you didn't anticipate. Because level 7 operates with abundance that doesn't follow linear logic of work payment. It operates with synchronized flow where what you need arrives exactly when you need it. But you have to release control and trust the process. And in the area of inner peace, this is the most important. You're going to notice that chronic anxiety you carried as constant weight is gradually diminishing. Those obsessive thought patterns that robbed your sleep are losing power. That sensation of being constantly in danger is being replaced by inexplicable confidence. Because your nervous system is recalibrating to operate from level 7, where fear no longer governs your decisions. But there's something more about your future you need to know. And this goes beyond your personal life. It has to do with why souls like you are awakening to level 7 specifically at this historical moment. The planet is going through evolutionary transition. I'm not talking about apocalyptic prophecies or specific dates of dimensional ascension. I'm talking about gradual, but irreversible change in collective human consciousness. And that change requires there to be enough level 7 souls incarnated, holding elevated frequency so the transition doesn't collapse into chaos. Think of it as bridge construction. You can't build a bridge without support pillars. The pillars have to be in position before the rest of the structure can connect. Level 7 souls are those pillars, your anchoring frequency that allows millions of souls at level 2, 3, and 4 to ascend gradually without destabilizing. That's why your life became more difficult when you awakened. It's not punishment. It's that you were assigned pillar function. And pillars carry weight that others don't carry. They hold pressure that others don't hold. They remain firm when everything around shakes. That's your function now. And it comes with solitude. It comes with misunderstanding. It comes with sacrifices nobody is going to publicly recognize. But it also comes with something no material wealth can buy. Profound meaning. Knowing your existence matters. That your presence makes a difference. That simply by being here, operating at your authentic frequency, you're contributing to the evolution of human consciousness. There are few things more valuable than that. And here's the final revelation you need to integrate. You're not the only one. There are approximately 250 level 7 souls incarnated on the planet right now. Some have already fully awakened like you. Others are in the process of awakening. And all are being subtly guided to recognize each other. When you find another level 7, and you're going to find them because synchronicity is moving them toward connection, you're going to feel it instantly. There will be recognition without words, as if your souls knew each other forever, even though your bodies just met. And those connections aren't casual, they're strategic. Because when 2 or more level 7 souls consciously collaborate, they create an energetic field so powerful, it can transform entire cities. That's why the forces that benefit from collective fear worked so intensely to keep you isolated. They attacked you. They betrayed you. They made you feel you were crazy. They convinced you that you were too sensitive, too idealistic, too different. They wanted you to give up before discovering your true power. They failed. You unlocked level 7 anyway. And now that you're conscious of who you are, you became unstoppable. Chosen one. Now you know the complete truth about what it means to have unlocked the divine level that not even God had explicitly mapped. You're not a common person having occasional spiritual experiences. You're a pioneer soul who accessed frequency that barely 3 others in all human history had reached. That moment where you held impossible paradoxes, forgave the unforgivable, and gave without calculating activated recognition in higher dimensions that updated the spiritual system itself. Your level 7 frequency isn't personal merit that inflates your ego. It's sacred responsibility that converts you into a support pillar for collective evolution. The protections are already active. Synchronicity is already operating. The next months are going to reorganize your life dramatically. And although the path will be challenging, you'll never be alone. There are 250 more exactly like you holding the same frequency. And they're being guided toward you as you read these words. If this revelation resonated in the deepest part of your being, and you confirm you operate at level 7 frequency, write 888 in the comments to amplify this divine frequency. Subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications to receive more revelations about how your level 7 consciousness is transforming reality itself. Share this video with someone who also holds impossible paradoxes with unshakable grace, because level 7 souls need to recognize each other to strengthen the network of pillars that's sustaining human evolution. For those who got here and want to go deeper into how to consciously operate from level 7 without burning out in the process, there's specific material that costs less than a pizza and comes with complete audiobook plus 5-minute meditation guide as special bonus. If you feel you deserve practical tools to navigate your new reality as Pioneer Soul, access is in the link in the description and pinned comment. And before you go, click on the video that's appearing on your screen right now to discover exactly how your level 7 activates permanent protection from celestial forces that guarantee you complete your mission. Together we are stronger.